Today is day 10 and it's the day you are guaranteed to get 100 rolls on the Kourindou roulette if you didn't get 100 on an earlier day. If you have been playing at your own pace and didn't reroll at the start, this might be a good place to find your early game carry. But before I do these rolls, I'm going to sell some more story cards so I have space. As a reminder, there are many 4-star and 3-star cards that are quite good, so you don't want to just sell all the 3-star cards and 4-star cards. For example, this card gives accuracy, it's pretty good, you want to keep some of those. And this card gives 3 agility and max limit break, so you might want to keep 1 copy. Miracle Mallet is a very good 3-star card. Crit attack, 3 crit attack is the only card that gives 3 crit attack. And most of the other ones have some niche effects like damage from a certain enemy down, which is pretty useless, so like this card you can sell. For the 4-star cards, Midnight Tea is really good. 1 spirit power up before you farm Wits of Scarlet Dreams. It's a very important card, as well as its Spring, which has a similar effect, exactly the same. 1 spirit power up, 1.5 at max limit break. Fairies Under the Hot Sun, Yang attack up. Surface is so fun, crit attack and crit accuracy up, 2 levels and max limit break. Waiting and Comfort, 2 Yang attack, 2 Yang defense and max limit break. Test Freeze, 2 Yang attack and max limit break. So and also Boo. Boo is 2 Yin attack and max limit break. Where's Boo? This one, Boo, 2 Yin attack. So these are some story cards that and Rabbit of Good Fortune. Spirit adds 1 barrier. You can keep a few copies of that. Froggy Hat, 2 accuracy and max limit break. So for the good cards, I would just lock them as well as max limit break them if I can, so I don't accidentally sell them. And I'm just gonna sell the rest of these story cards which aren't that good. And these story cards are pretty safe to sell. Sometimes you can use them for stat sticks, as in just equipping them to boost your character's stats, but most of the time you want to use 5-star cards for that because they do give more stats. So you get some tokens for this, which can be used to buy the cube from the token shop, as well as eventually awakening characters when you are sure that you want to do that. Now that we've got some space, let's end this Kourindou roulette with a bang. I get Nidalee, which isn't very good. I get the Lan dupe, some story cards.
Do you like them equally?
Some more story cards. And I get a few other general pool friends, none of which are particularly good. Even if you won't invest into them, you shouldn't throw them away because they can be useful for breaking even at low levels, as shown in the last video. In the Forever Prayer, I get Kokolo, who I already have, so of course I'm not going to take her. The best friends to get here would be stuff like Scarlet Reimu and Scarlet Marissa. I have been grinding events and leveling Yachie, so I have more than enough event points for this last paper doll, which I need to max limit break Yachie, which also gives me some scrolls and materials. I also buy some of the relevant scrolls and books. And I'm going to use those materials to go ahead and upgrade Yachie. I do need to get her to rank 4 to unlock her 3rd skill, to be able to solo farm Wits of Scarlet Dreams, so I am short of some materials still. This is kind of a beginner problem. I'm very short on Heaven and Tiger Scrolls, even though I have plenty of the others, because it so happens that Misumaru and Yachie both need those 2 types of scrolls. You can get scrolls from some of these subtasks. Let's see if I get the right type. I got Phoenix Scrolls and Cloud Scrolls. And oh, I got 1 Heaven Scroll. So yeah, you can get some scrolls from these subquests, which is usually like get all stars for the stages. Getting all stars means that you clear the stage without any characters dying, or various other stuff like reaching a certain player level. You can also get some scrolls from the special tab and some of these tasks, but these are not random, they are like predetermined, so you get some clouds and some you do get some tiger, I believe. Yeah, for clearing chapter 2 act 1 you get some tiger, so I can go ahead and do that. And also 50 cubes, which is quite nice for completing your weekly tasks for the first time. And of course, you can get scrolls from these daily stages, which you really should do every day because you get lots of good materials from them. And my Yachie is level 70, so I'm gonna go ahead and limit break her 1 time to increase her level cap. I'm just having her at the back of my party to level her, so if I limit break her more than necessary, then it's just gonna waste spirit points. So I've completed some main story, which will give me these tiger scrolls, so now I'm just missing the heaven scrolls. And I also get quite a few seal crystals from all these stages, a nice 52 more seal crystals for defeating these stages on Lunatic, as well as some more of these random materials. It's day 3 of the event and more stages have opened, and this stage is perfect for me to farm because it drops attack and support books, which are exactly the books that I need. Also, the enemies are all gods, so every character has some tags like human, yokai, gods and all that, and it so happens that Misumaru's last word has God Killer, which means that she always crits against gods. So these bullets will always crit against these enemies, and a critical hit would do ×2 damage, or up to ×5 damage depending on how much crit attack buffs that you have. None of them resist Earth as well, so hopefully I can actually one-turn the stage without a power link. Misumaru has crit defense down on her skills, which also stacks additively with crit attack. Yeah, that's a big damage number. Okay, good job Misumaru, finally useful. I went out for dinner, so I left my tablets at home to keep on farming, and I realized that I haven't done the lottery yet, and there are a bunch of scrolls there, so I go and do that. But I pressed buttons too fast and that disconnects you, so yeah, it's the same problem with like errands. If you tap too fast, you just DC for some reason. I've talked about this earlier in the series, but basically for the lottery, you can just pay points to draw. Like every one draw is 50 points, and then you get a random thing from this list with like scrolls, tiles, and SP and coins. And then once you hit these top 3 bingo items, then it allows you to move on to the next step. And then there are 8 total steps. So, so it's supposedly random, but I mean it's not that much event points to buy out the whole thing. So it's basically you pay a bunch of event points for a bunch of materials with added steps. And with the scrolls from the lottery, you can see now I have plenty of scrolls to max out, or to rank for Yachie, which will unlock her 3rd skill, which is all I need for the Wits of Scarlet Dreams farm. Of course, I need to level it as well. Taking a look at my materials, you can see I have quite a lot of stuff. Like, of all these scrolls that I didn't use, I have like about 70 of these, besides Heaven and Tiger, because I had 2 characters which needed those scrolls. And I have quite a lot of tiles as well from farming events, and this is just the 10th day. I'm not saying you need to play as fast as I did, but if you grind out your events and you spend your materials wisely, don't split them up, focus them on one character at a time, as well as don't rank 5 your characters, because rank 5 usually costs a lot of materials, but the passive that it unlocks is usually not very useful, it's not that impactful for most characters. Then you really won't have a problem with materials early on. So far, I've been leveling Yachie by having her in the back of the party, but now I've decided that I can just max limit break her, which will unlock her last word, and then I can use her to solo some stages. And the stage that I'm gonna try to solo is Lunatic Yukari, because she's weak to wood, and Yachie's last word is all wood. Unfortunately, Yachie's last word needs 2 power to access most of the bullet lines, as you can see. This Orange Sparrow means that these 3 bullet lines you can access with 2 power, and she has a skill which will give her 1 power at level 10, but I'm just a little bit short on books to max it out right now. So I don't think I will have enough damage to kill Yukari on turn 1, but let's see if I do anyway. Let's just try it out. So Yukari does have an annoying evasion up skill, so that's a bit of a problem. That's why I have to put accuracy on my last word, and if I use a 2-turn setup, she can stack a lot of extra agility, so that's why I can't use a 2-turn setup. I kinda just have to kill her on turn 1, because she can stack more agility every turn. And unfortunately it looks like my damage isn't enough to kill her right now. I have put an accuracy card on my last word, because I do need to counter Yukari's evasion, or I can miss a lot and fail the run. And on the rest of the cards, I've put Yin attack and agility, or Yin attack and Yin defense statistics, which is just because I'm not using these spell cards, so I'm just using the story. I'm just putting story cards there to give me additional stats, because her last word has hard and slicing, which means that the more agility or the more defense that she has, the more damage she will deal. Her defense stat is basically added to her attack stats when in the damage calculations for these bullet lines that have hard and slice. I still want to level Yachie as quickly as possible, and the main story has times 3 EXP, so it's the best place to level her right now. So I decided to go ahead and try the 2-turn setup anyway, even though it might be a little bit inconsistent due to because Yukari might spam evasion up. So I'm going to be grazing as much as possible, because Yachie has a skill, or like a character ability, that gives her Ying attack every time she grazes. So I'm going to graze 3 times this turn, and then on the next turn I'm going to use this skill, which will add an additional barrier, and then I can graze even more next turn. So I'm just grazing as much as possible, and I'm going to use spell card 1, which does have an effect of increasing my Yin attack and Yin defense with an accuracy card. So I'm going to try and stack accuracy as much as possible so that I can counter Yukari's evasion up. The reason I'm farming Yukari is that she drops a story card. It's a pretty niche card. It gives 2 levels of Yang attack and it heals your character a little bit. So yeah, there are a lot of other options for Yang attack, so this card is kind of a little outdated, but the card is used in some very niche cases where you need some healing and Yang attack. And since Yukari is weak to wood, I might as well farm the card while leveling Yachie. You can see that I overkilled her by a lot, but if she does use that evasion up, I think it's 4 evasion and it lasts for 2 turns, so she can have 8 evasion on the second turn, then I could miss a lot of shots and fail the run, so hopefully that doesn't happen. Thankfully it didn't fail. Yachie has leveled up quite a bit, has unlocked all her skills, and I'm really close to being able to farm Woods of Scarlet Dreams, so let's see if I can do that tomorrow.